Hello, second grade. I am excited to be here with you. I hope your day is going well. I've been praying for you, and I hope that you've been praying for me. I can't wait to see you again, but until now, this will have to do. So I'm going to share my screen with you, as I always do. So bear with me. Oh, no. Okay. And today we're going to read the story, The Lion and the Elephant by Aesop. So if you don't have this story right now, I would like for you to put pause on the video and go grab the story, okay? We'll wait for you. So today we're reading the story about this lion and elephant. So let's put our pointer finger on the lion and the elephant. The lion and the elephant attributed to Aesop. The lion was very large and handsome, with sharp fangs and dangerous claws. Although the lion was more powerful than all the other animals, he had a problem. "Great though I may be," said the lion, "I am terribly afraid of roosters." Each time a rooster would crow, the lion would quake in fear. His friends could not help him. The lion continued to criticize himself for being a coward. One day, however, the lion met an elephant at the watering hole and stopped to talk. The lion noticed that the elephant kept flapping his ears. So he asked, "My dear elephant, why do you keep flapping your ears like that?" The elephant replied, Do you see that little buzzing gnat that just whizzed by? If it gets inside my ear, I'm doomed. I get nervous whenever one is near." "Well then," the lion decided, "why should I die of shame? I am an excellent creature and in much better shape than this elephant. I must be braver than this excellent elephant, because after all, roosters are larger than gnats." One might conclude from this fable that a gnat must have great strength, since he provokes fear in the elephant. Or perhaps the lesson is simply that everyone is afraid of something. Okay, so we just read this story. And as we always read this story, I'm going to ask you, who were the main characters of this story? You're right. There were two main characters, right? It was the lion and the elephant, right? They were main characters because they talked in the story, right? Now, what was happening in the story? What happened? What happened? Think about it. Okay. So first, let's go in order. First, there was a big, large, handsome lion, and he had sharp fangs and dangerous claws. Would you be scared of a lion like that? I know I would. And he was the most powerful of all the animals ever. But this lion had a problem. What was the problem? Yeah, you're right. He was afraid of roosters. And so let's go over it. And it said, each time a rooster would crow, can you crow like a rooster? They usually go like this, cock-a-doodle-doo, right? The lion would quake in fear. Do you know what quake means? Like shake. Would quake in fear. Can you imagine a lion quaking in fear? This big, handsome, scary lion quaking in fear because he was afraid of what? Of a rooster. And then what happened? Could his friends help him? No. Because when you're afraid of something, can someone else help you not be afraid of something? For example, if I am afraid of spiders, right? Let's say I'm afraid of spiders. If my mom were to tell me, Miss Antana, stop being afraid of spiders, do you think that's going to help? No. Because who is the only person that can choose to not be afraid? Myself. I have that power. Only I can choose to not be afraid. My mom can help me. She can give me good words, good advice, right? But can she make me not feel afraid anymore? No. We have to choose to not be afraid. So his friends could not help him. And then it says, the lion continued to criticize himself for being a coward. Now, there are two words there that I think we need to talk about. The first one is criticize, and the second is coward. Now, do you know what the word criticize means? I'm sure you've seen it, but do you know what it means? Let me show you some examples. When someone is criticizing someone else, they only look for the bad. Now, this happens a lot in our class with some classmates, and Miss Antana has to say, look for the good. So when someone criticizes someone, they're only looking for all of the mistakes and all of the bad things that they do. They never stop and see the good things. So it says the lion continued to criticize, to look for all of the bad things inside of himself. And he said that he continued to put himself down to make himself feel tiny for being a coward. Now, do you know what the word coward means? Let's think about it. Coward. Does it have to do with a cow? Moo. No, I don't think so. Think about it. What does the story tell you about the word coward? This lion was strong and powerful, but he was afraid of a rooster. He was a coward. So he continued to put himself down, to criticize himself for being a coward. What does the word coward mean? Let's think about it. Well, is it something good? Let's start there. Is it a good thing? No. What did the lion do? Was the lion courageous? No. Was he brave? No. Did he run away? Was he afraid? Did he not face his fears? Yeah. Yes, yes, and yes. So what does it mean to be a coward? What does it mean? To be a coward, it means you don't face your fears, you run away from your problems, and you're not courageous. You're not brave. So the lion knew that he wasn't courageous. He knew, or at least he thought, that he was a coward. So let's continue. Then what happened in this story? Then what happened? Well, then it says, one day the lion met an elephant. Where did he meet this elephant? Where is this story taking place? You're right, at a watering hole. It's a big, not hole, but it's a big place where there's water, where all the animals go and drink their water. So one day the lion went to this watering hole and he met an elephant. And he stopped to talk to him. And the lion noticed that the elephant kept flapping his ears, and he was just flapping them and flapping them and flapping them. And so the lion was curious, and he said, "My dear elephant, why do you keep flapping your ears like that? You probably look crazy." And the elephant replied, "Do you see that little buzzing gnat?" Now, what's a gnat? See, the G is silent, so we don't say gnat. So we just say gnat, right? Right here, gnat. Do you see that little buzzing gnat? I'm sure you've seen these things. They're not flies, but they're tiny. Sometimes they come out in the morning, and there's a lot of them, and they're just flying everywhere. Have you ever seen a gnat? They're tiny, but they're buzzing. And it says, the lion noticed that the elephant kept flapping his ears, so he asked, "My dear elephant, why do you keep flapping your ears like that?" And the elephant replied, "Do you see that little buzzing gnat that just whizzed by?" Whiz is another word for like buzz. It just whizzed by. And then he says, "If it gets inside my ear, I'm doomed." And then he says, "I get nervous whenever a gnat is near." And then the elephant has an aha moment, right? Then what does the elephant do? Sorry, not the elephant. Then what does the lion do? He says, "Well then," I can just imagine this elephant puffed up his chest and he said, "Well then, why should I die of shame?" What is shame? There's a lot of big words in this story. What is shame? Well, shame means you're afraid to show yourself, right? You're afraid to show yourself. There's shame. There's shame. He's afraid. There's fear in shame, right? So he says the lion decided. He made a choice. He decided. Can anyone else decide for the lion? No, only the lion can decide. And so he decided and he said, "Why should I die of shame? Why should I be in fear?" In other words, I am an excellent creature and in much better shape than the elephant, better than the elephant. I must be braver than this excellent elephant. And then he says, because after all, roosters are bigger than gnats, right? So the elephant decided, why am I going to be afraid of a rooster? It doesn't make sense. And so he decided, he made a choice. He was no longer going to be afraid of roosters. So this is the last thing for today. What do you think the lesson of the story was? So it tells us, it says, one might conclude that either a gnat has a lot of strength. Or perhaps that everyone's afraid of something. So, what are you afraid of? And whatever you're afraid of, we need to make a decision, like the lion, to not be afraid of the thing. We talked about it in our poem. Whenever we're afraid, we pray. We ask our guardian angel to be with us. We remember who we are. I am a daughter of God. You are a daughter or a son of God. And then you face it. You're brave. You're not a coward. You're brave. Right? You're brave. And you say, I'm going to make a decision. I am not going to be afraid of it. And you're going to look. Let's say you're afraid. Maybe you think there's a monster in the closet. I don't know. How about you check? Open the door. Is there something there? No. Okay, so when you're afraid, take a deep breath. Let it out. Say a prayer. And look. And you'll be surprised. So I look forward to talking to you more about this poem, about the story tomorrow for your assignment. I want you to make a picture about this story. So after this story is over, please make sure to read it again with your parents. And if you have any other questions, ask your parents, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help you out with the story. Okay? God bless. I miss you all, and I'm praying for you all, and I can't wait to see you. Totus tuus, Maria.